evening. Blessings to you all. As usual, we'll begin with a period of quiet meditation. Practice mindfulness of breathing. Mindfulness of breathing, as taught by the Buddha, comes into the overall practice of mindfulness of body, kaya gata sati. You're probably all familiar with the teaching on the 4 foundations of mindfulness, which begins with mindfulness of the body. And it really is the central part of our practice to develop mindfulness and awareness of the body, and awareness of the body as it is. Because so much of our mental activity is taking us away from the body out to the world and getting lost in our thoughts and moods. So now is the time to do the opposite. Start reeling in or bringing in your attention back to the body as you are sitting here right now, wherever you are. So try to find a comfortable posture that you can sustain for the next period of time. Sit up straight so you're energized. Close your eyes and begin just bringing your attention to your head, your face. Notice how you're feeling right now as you're sitting here. If there's any particular sensation in your head, your face, notice it first. If it's to do with muscle tension, such as tension in your cheek muscles or your jaw muscles, then consciously relax if you can. If it's more just sensations such as warm air, cold air, itches, different sensations, try to be patient and tolerant of the different sensations. Notice them, but maybe there's not much you can do about them other than just notice them and then let go. And slowly move your attention down. So noticing your neck and your shoulders. Often we sit in an unnatural way where we maybe hunch our shoulders or putting pressure or tension in one part of the shoulders or the neck without realizing it. So just try to notice how your body is as you're sitting here now. There may not be anything you need to do physically, but mentally you can pay attention to the feelings, the sensations. Notice whether there's pain, or it's pleasant, or maybe just hardly any sensation at all, neutral. Or maybe something very ordinary, like just the feeling of clothing on your skin. And bring your attention down your arms to your hands. Notice your hands, if they're in your lap perhaps. Then just notice how your hands are one on the other perhaps. Fingers touching, palms, one hand on the other, thumbs touching. Notice your chest, your stomach, your back. If you have back pain, just try to adjust to the most comfortable posture you can manage. Notice your stomach. How does that feel? Maybe you're full because you've just eaten, or maybe you're feeling empty because you're keeping 8 precepts, or you're a monastic and you haven't eaten for many hours. Or maybe you feel just right. Notice your waist, your legs, the pressure of the legs on the ground or on the seat, down to your toes. And there may be nothing you need to do to adjust your posture, but first of all, you're just paying attention to your physical posture and any different feelings or sensations arising, noticing them. And if you're feeling okay, there's no particular pain or nothing bothersome to you, you can maybe just make a small, what we call adhitthana, a determination not to move until you hear the bell for the end of the session. So unless there's an emergency like a fire or something, you're not, from this point on, and it's not very long, but you're not going to move. You're not going to move your legs, your arms. See if you can do that. If you're a regular meditator, you may know how to do this and do it anyway. But if you're new, just see if you can determine to sit still without moving your arms, your legs, until the end of the session. And this is what we call adhitthana barami, where you make a resolution, a determination, or sometimes they translate it as a vow, to do something, or not to do something. So in this case, it's a resolution not to move until the end of the session, until I ring the bell. Already that can bring up mental agitation, because you might have some doubt, can I do it? Even if you've done it before many times, as soon as you draw your attention to a particular action that you are now determining to do, that can bring up doubt, anxiety even. And normally, a determination is something you make for yourself to help your practice. I'm just giving you a nudge or a guideline here to see if you can do that, to sit still, to increase your effort, both to be mindful, but also to be patient with any feelings or restlessness in your mind, as a way of training your meditation and your mind. So now you're bringing your attention to the feeling, the sensation of the in and out breath. And the Buddha encouraged us to set up our mind, or establish mindfulness in front of us. It's often translated in that way. What does that mean? Well, practically speaking, if you keep bringing attention to the breath in one place, at the chest, for instance, or at the tip of your nose, for instance, your mental energy starts to flow there and stay there. The awareness of that spot or that area becomes clearer to you. Even though you're aware of the breath is going in, there's a pause, and then there's the breath out. In the course of a minute, not many times, that will go in and out, depending on the speed of your breath. But as you're paying attention to the sensation of the in and out breath at one point, your mental energy gathers there as if it's in front of you or right there. And that location, that area, becomes more and more prominent the more continuous your mindfulness, clear comprehension and awareness of that point and of the breath becomes. Most people find they start to experience a coolness, a pleasant feeling, a new pleasant feeling coming about because the mind is in one place more and more. Even when it is distracted and you start thinking and you forget the breath, you forget the body, you forget what you're doing for a while. If it's not too long and you finally realize that you've been distracted by a train of thought or a sound or something, once you bring your attention back to the breath in the normal place, you may become aware of this cool, pleasant feeling again and again. Until it becomes very, very tangible, noticeable to you. And this is not something you can force. In fact, if you try and force the mind, you'll probably get a reaction and feel uncomfortable, unpleasant, and want to stop. But if you gently but mindfully re-establish attention on the breathing in the one point that you've chosen, together with your adhitthana, your determination not to move, which means not to give up as well. And you have virya bharami, which is like effort. You keep making that effort to bring attention to the breath. You have satya bharami, you're true to your goal, true to your task, and you want to find out the truth or seek the truth. Satya means truth. So you're not cheating yourself. Quite often we say, oh, I'm meditating on the breath, but actually we're sitting there thinking about many things and not aware of the breath at all. So you have to be sincere in what you're doing at this time while we're sitting. Keeping your attention on the breath or keep returning attention to the breath. You have some goodwill, metta bharami. You wish yourself well, you want to be free from suffering, you want to be content, happy. You're not forcing yourself with ill will or trying to punish yourself. And if you have mindfulness directed to the breath, you'll be experiencing some upekkha bharami, this quality of knowing without reacting to things. So whether there's pleasant or unpleasant sensations, you're knowing the breath, you're aware maybe of different thoughts and feelings arising, but you maintain your balance, your equanimity. You also have sila bharami. So at this moment you're not hurting anybody or stealing or getting intoxicated, telling lies, whatever. You have dana bharami because you're practicing letting go and giving up all kinds of thoughts, moods, emotions, bringing your attention back to the breath. So that's actually an act of dana in the sense you're giving up, giving away. It's the opposite of, say, going out to accumulate or get things or hold on to things. You have some panya barami, which is wisdom, some understanding of what you're doing, and you're observing and learning from what you're doing. So your knowledge, your understanding is growing. You have kanti barami, which is patience. So we say practicing meditation, you're developing all 10 paramis, just like the Buddha developed. So we'll carry on just for a bit longer. I'll stop talking and just try to stick with the determination not to move until you hear the sound of the bell.